Let's talk tools today, specifically the tools I needed and used when I first started freelancing online. You guys know I'm all about simplicity. I think it's easy to overcomplicate when you're thinking about starting something new or exciting, especially when you're starting freelancing or a new business. And that's a really common pitfall people get trapped in, is this pitfall of overcomplicating everything. This never ending, oh no, what tools do I need to get started? Maybe I also need that and also that. And now you have like a list of 40 tools you need before you even begin. And so just said they love this tool more than that tool, so maybe I should swap this tool for that tool before I begin. It's really a way of sabotaging ourselves from beginning, and I do not want you to get stuck there. So I only want to give you in this video what you truly need to begin. And I know sometimes people give like way too many different options and you don't really know which one to pick. So I'll also let you know which one the DEYAS choice option is, aka which tool I personally used and liked myself. Again, this is just my opinion on these tools. Tools are kind of a subjective matter depending on your priorities, so if there's something you personally don't like, that's fine. You can use one of the other alternatives that I mentioned or find one that suits your needs better. One note also, if there's a tool that a client requests you to use for her or his business specifically, they should be paying for that tool. You shouldn't be paying for it. You should only be paying for tools that you use as a freelancer to work with your clients and not the tools that they need within their businesses, if that makes sense, because those would be tools that they pay for as their business expenses, not your business expenses. At the end of this video, I'll also share a few nice to have, optional, more advanced tools, but to get started, you really only need these 7 tools that I will talk about. And of course, I'll link everything down below for your convenience. Most of this, if not all, is not sponsored, so you know I really mean it when I like these tools. Hey, my name is Deya, freelancer, digital business manager, and most recently, entrepreneur. And as always, you can find sections on the play bar below if you want to skip to a certain part of the video. Your time is precious, take what you need, and go. And if you want to watch this on 2x, I will not be offended in the least, so feel free to do that. Okay, let's dive straight into the video. The first and most important thing that you need is some tool to allow you to take money from your clients. You need to get paid, that cash money has to be deposited somewhere, and you need to get this organized beforehand so that when it does come time to pay, your client can seamlessly make it rain on you. Here are a few popular payment tool options. The first one, the most well-known one I would say, is PayPal, the easiest for most clients, but honestly, I personally don't recommend doing PayPal long-term. You can do it when you're just getting started, but look to switch to another one soon because there are a few issues with PayPal freezing accounts and the fees aren't really ideal. You can, however, also send invoices via PayPal directly to clients, which makes everything super simple if you are in a pinch. So when in doubt, you do have this option. With PayPal, they take a cut of each transaction, so just keep that in mind. The next one is Stripe. Stripe is another easy one. You can also send invoices directly via Stripe to your client's email account. They can normally pay easily via credit or debit card that way. With Stripe, they also take a cut of each action. The third option is Wise. This is a DEYAS choice. Wise is what I personally use for the past 4 to 5 years. I recommend it 100%. It's great for international transactions across borders. So if you have clients from other countries, really easy to use. The fees are really good. It's super easy to use. You can hook it up to your bank account. I have an affiliate link for it below if you want to use it, but you can also just type wise.com into your browser and find the info there if for some reason you don't want to use my affiliate link. It's awesome and I would recommend it even if I weren't part of their affiliate program. Next up are legal, invoicing, contracts, that kind of stuff. The first one is &Co, which is a DEYAS choice. So &Co is really the only tool I've ever really used other than Google Docs to send invoices. It's pretty easy to use. It walks you through it. You can send an invoice to your client directly and they can view everything there. It's very easy. They give you like a dashboard and everything where you can kind of see the summary of all of your invoices and your client works. You can separate it by client, all that stuff. The next one is Dipsado, which is also a DEYAS choice. Dipsado is a client management tool I personally really like. It is free for up to 3 clients, I believe, so that's really great to get started with. You can set up contracts, invoices in there. You can also set up automations, client dashboards, etc. That's a little bit more advanced. So to really get started, all you need is the contracts and invoicing with Dipsado. It like streamlines everything. So the client can just go there and do everything step by step. If you don't like Anco or Dipsado for whatever reason, other options I like are Honeybook for our US peeps and Bonsai, which again, I'll link everything below. Next up is HelloSign, which is a DEYAS choice. HelloSign is a tool I use to get documents signed. You get 3 free documents every single month, so that's awesome, and you really don't need more than that unless you're signing tons of clients every month. So I send my contracts to clients via HelloSign, they can sign it there, and then I download the PDF of the signed document and done. Another option is PandaDoc. Next up is LegalZoom. LegalZoom I've heard lots of cool things about. Basically, you can get legal documents like contractor templates. If you're looking for more contractor help, another one I can recommend is the Contract Shop by Christina Scalera. Super awesome. She's got loads of contract templates for freelancers and small business owners, like an independent contractor template, which is all you really need to begin. Everything else, it's also possible that the client will send it to you, which is also fine, of course, as well. Next up, of course, we need some way of storing all the files, documents, and all that good stuff that clients need you to work on online. So your options are 1, Google Drive, which is a DEYAS choice again. I love Google Drive. It has everything I could ever need. I keep everything in my drive and I use all the assorted products that are offered. Google Docs, love it. Google Spreadsheet, love it. Google Slides, love it. Google Drawings, love it. I upgraded my storage with Google Drive, and so now I pay for it, but you really don't need to. Like, the free plan is more than you need to get started. The other option here is Dropbox. Personally, I don't get the Dropbox over Google Drive decision, but if you don't like Google Drive, you can definitely go with Dropbox, which does a similar thing as well. Chances are your client will add you into their project management tool, so that's great. But if not, you may want to have some sort of project management tool for your own to like keep track of your own things across clients and everything. So your options here are Asana, which is a DEYAS choice for sure. The free plan is plenty. You can make a project for each of your clients and put all the to-dos in there, assign dates, the whole shebang. Another option is ClickUp, another DEYAS choice for sure. So ClickUp is awesome as well. The learning curve, I would say, is a bit steeper. So if you're not as tech savvy or you just want to get started faster without learning too much, go with Asana. Another option is Trello. Trello is a good option. It's a very simple system of just like a Kanban view, which is like with the different views, and you can like drag things depending on their status, which, by the way, Asana and ClickUp both also have a Kanban view. They just have more and like more variations of views, which is really useful. But with Trello, it's a little bit more minimalistic. So if you know you'll get overwhelmed, you don't really want to deal with a bunch of buttons or features, then yeah, go with Trello, because then that will keep you from procrastinating out of overwhelm. Next up, you will need some sort of calendar system to schedule calls and keep track of important deadlines. So your options here are Google Calendar, which is a DEYAS choice, no surprise. Love it. I love everything integrated with my Gmail account. So easy, consolidated. I love consolidation. All my meetings and calls go into my calendar system so I can keep track of everything in one place. Another option, Calendly. That's another DEYAS choice. So for booking calls, I really like Calendly for scheduling any type of calls. So catch-ups, discovery calls, I use the free plan there too. I just send my Calendly link to somebody if they want to book a free slot on my calendar. It integrates with my calendar on Gmail as well. And then they can book a time and then it shows up on my calendar. Really easy. If you don't like Calendly or you need something a little bit heavier duty, you can use Acuity Scheduling, which I also really like. All right, next up, we have to communicate with our clients. I know, we need some way of talking to them. At a minimum, you will need a proper professional email. Gmail is DEYAS choice, but honestly, whatever will work as long as it's not like your kitten_baby_cutie email from middle school. Next up is Slack, DEYAS choice as well. So aside from email, this one is it's not super necessary to get started, but for quicker conversations, it's also chances are your client will add you into their communication tool of choice like Slack, but if they don't, you can also set up something like Slack for your clients to chat with them quicker. It's much better than email because you can go back and forth faster and not kind of lose track of the conversation with like a million email threads. Another thing I like here is Voxer. Voxer is great for voice messages with clients as well, but this one is optional depending on if your clients want that with you and if you want to offer it at the end of the day. Okay, time for meetings. I like both Zoom and Google Hangouts. Now, I use Google Hangouts more because I pay for the Google Workspace anyway, so I get that included, but either is fine, so just set up an account on either one you prefer. Free one works fine. Finally, will need a tool to store passwords that you get from clients when they share accesses and login info with you safely. So LastPass is the DEYAS choice here. I personally use LastPass. I think it's fine. It's not perfect, but it will do the job. An alternative to LastPass is 1Password if for some reason you really don't like LastPass. So a little recap of all the DEYAS choices. Here are the tools that I, Deya, personally use as a freelancer and would recommend you have to begin freelancing online. 1. Wise for getting paid. 2. Dubsado for invoicing, contracts, general light client management. 3. Google Workspace or Google Drive for file storage. 4. Asana for project management, Google Calendar, and Calendly for calendar management and scheduling of calls. 6. An email of some kind and Google Hangouts for communication, or Zoom again. 7. LastPass for storing passwords. That's it. And bonus, all of these tools have free versions that work fantastic. My freelance business had so few expenses because of these free/cheap tools. Do not create any other fake hurdles for yourself. You don't need any other fancy or complicated tools to begin. This, what I just mentioned, is all you need to begin. So now here are some optional, more advanced freelancing tools that you may want to entertain depending on your situation one day. If you're just getting started, again, you probably don't need any of these. I'll say it again. If you're just getting started, you probably do not need these. But first up is some sort of a time tracker to track your time and audit where your time is going. I love tracking my time and figuring out what's happening there. I personally really like Toggle or Harvest. Next up, security to protect your online privacy. So the VPN I like to use is ExpressVPN. I think it's great according to its website. I actually had to look it up and figure out what exactly it is that they do. It encrypts all your web traffic, hides your IP, allows you to browse privately. This came in handy also when I was in certain countries where certain websites were blocked that I needed for work. Like for example, Vimeo was blocked when I was in Indonesia, and some social media platforms are blocked in China, so a VPN kind of helps you get around that. Plus it lets me watch different countries as Netflix, which is amazing. Next up is accounting. I'm not sure if this is an unpopular, controversial opinion, but I believe when you're just getting started as a freelancer, you can just keep all of your invoices in a folder on Google Drive and track any expenses in a spreadsheet. You don't really need a proper accounting tool because chances are you won't have that many transactions. But if you do find yourself needing one later on, you can check out options like FreshBooks, QuickBooks, or Wave. Next up, insurance. Now, I personally did not know business insurance was a thing when I first began, and I'm not giving any legal advice here. This is a you decision. Here's some options you can check out if you want to get insurance. Dinky, Collective Benefits, and Duo. Again, everything linked below, so I know I'm butchering these names. Next up, if you want more heavy-duty client relationship and pipeline management, like the pipeline of how they're coming into getting to know you, you nurturing them, getting them on a sales call, potentially booking them, proposals, that entire process, you can check out Pipedrive, Airtable, or Streak, all potential good options as well. When it comes to marketing and sales, for a website, yeah, I bet you thought a website was a non-negotiable essential, but no. I didn't have a website at all when I first got started. I actually didn't even have a website until like year 3 or 4, and even then I didn't really see the point of it. I can see the use for somebody who, like, a website is part of your sales process. For me, it really wasn't, so I didn't really need a website. But if you do need a website for some reason, here are some great website options: WordPress, Squarespace, Showit. They're all awesome, but don't feel like you need to have a website before you start freelancing, because you don't, right? Like, you really don't. You can get one later, but it's not like one of those essentials as a foundation or anything like that. For social media or an organic content strategy, lots of tool options here, all the social media channels, plus you can use a social media scheduling tool like SmarterQueue, Later, MeetEdgar to schedule out promotional content for your freelance business on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, that kind of stuff. For pitching and selling, you can check out Hunter.io for cold pitching, Loom for sending quick proposal videos. For proposals, you can also use like Proposify or Quiller. I don't know how to pronounce that. They put a lot of weird letters together. I'm linking everything below again. But there are way more here, like options here, but I think I would need a lot more time to dive into all things marketing and sales for freelancing. If you want a more in-depth video on that, you can let me know below as well. But yeah, I hope that was useful. If there are any tools that you love for freelancing that I did not mention, let me know below so we can all benefit from the learning comment circle of the comment section. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Okay, bye.